work. Just party as well. Party. Well, I guess I'm just gonna start the compound. It's gonna. Depends if it's gonna rain. The plugin's doing something weird. But yeah, BPRL. BPRL season 4, round 12 of the season, and it's Singapore, the country that is pretty small. It is pretty small. One of the smallest nations, but still very very rich. The people there, they can speak very good English, and even though they're a small nation, they are still very good. Maybe not in sports because, well, I mean, there isn't that many people, but the infrastructure and everything, it's very good. But the track, so the Singaporean Grand Prix around Marina Bay, a street circuit, first hosted the Grand Prix in 2008, and it was the first Grand Prix to be hosted at night. Number of laps 31, just half of it. Well, in full 61, but obviously we half it, so 31. We can't do 30 and a half. The drivers were meant to ready up, I guess, but I will continue this. So circuit length is 5.063 kilometers. Race distance about 154 kilometers. lap record is 1 minute 41.905 set by Kevin Magnussen in 2018 in the VF18 Haas. On the, I think back then it was Hypersofts back then. So the track has 23 corners, the second most behind Jeddah, which has 27, but around Jeddah most of the corners are pretty much flat, where in Marina Bay there are actual corners in here. Turn 6 is the only one which is like a slight corner. Not turn 6 and turn 15 are little corners, and so turn 4 as well. Now I see, but the best overtaking places are turn 1, turn 7, and turn 14. Other places that you can do an overtake, but it's not the best place to overtake. It's turn 3, turn 5, turn 8, turn 10, turn 13, turn 16, turn 18. You could do, but then it's so tight in there that no, I wouldn't suggest it there. So turn 1, turn 7, turn 14 are the best overtaking places, but still turn 3, turn 5, turn 8, turn 10, turn 13, and turn 16 are still corners that you can overtake, but it's just a little difficult. Already Jarvis coming out of the pits. It is fully dry in Q1, or as of right now. Do we need to talk about? Yeah, and there are 3 DRS zones. One on the main straight, not the main straight. It's start-finish straight. Then the second one on the main straight, and then the second one, the third one. Sorry, the third one being the back straight here between turns 13 and 14. The main straight between turn 5 to 7. There's turn 6, but the DRS stays there, and then the start finish straight. Everyone knows where the start is. the start line is. If you hear some construction work in the background, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but we're having still the same bathroom work. It's not being finished, but there are already many drivers out on track already. Oh yeah, this place where it just is it just me, or the FPS are just bad? Or am I just high? I don't know, but most of the drivers on the softs only stack out on track on the mediums. Reggie is thinking about the mediums, and Reggie is going out on the mediums. Coke is going to be the first driver to be out on track. Not out on track, the first one to start their flying laps. Let me just check that the stream is on. The track is hard to get a lap in. It's very tricky. Similar to Monaco, walls are close always, but it's a little bit more open. So, like into turn 7, there is still a little bit of runoff on the exit. In Monaco, there's almost none. And yeah, the track limits are as well really hard, as Jack has already crashed out into turn 12. That's turn 12. Let me just get someone. That's Jose. No, that's Jose close, but now there's Coke. I've missed every single one of them. But it's well, Coke, not Coke. Jack is out. Jack is already out. Tur has front wing damage on the outlap already. Front left board board flip. I can't remember what it was called, but he anyways has a front wing damage and he goes back into the pits. Coke is just running off turn 19, turn 20, no, 21, sorry, that was 21, now 22 and 23. As I remember that here are 23 corners, and Coke crosses the line and he goes P1, 139.775, decent lap by Coke. Tilted is now gonna come across the 2 final corners and he is gonna go P2, 141.222. Then the Alfa Romeo is gonna come across the line, but it was Alfie who was gonna start his lap, but he spun. And then there's OJ as well, or JP. I'll just call him JP. Stack as well cross the line to go forward to 142.395, but Shaza goes P1, 137.768, 2 seconds faster than Coke, and as well 1.1 seconds faster than Matt, who goes P2, 138.876. Yellow flags in turn 13. There's an Alpine of Jose, gets spun on the exit of turn 13 and could be having some front wing damage if I can spot something. No, but Noise crossed the line and he's now first, 137.493. There's now an Aston Martin crossing line and that's high, but I guess he invalidated his time. Yeah, he invalidated his time. It was a 152.113. And they have McLaren, but he's on an in-lap. That was Coke. Anyways, then there's Jose. Then there's Tilted, but he's on an in-lap. Guess that he's on an in-lap. No, he's finishing his lap. Oh no, he's going into the pits. Alright. Jose finished this time 153.468. But he obviously had that spin on the exit of turn 13. JP went 5th, 139.413. Reggie goes P3, 138.818. A second behind Shaza, and 1.3 seconds behind Noise. Obviously the mediums are slower, but are they that slow, or it could be just Reggie was taking it easy. Lamas goes P5, 138.969. Nice. OG. There was someone spun, I swear, but I guess I saw one, but I just clicked too fast. JP through the first sector wasn't improving. Is he even on a lap? Well, I mean, with that ERS amount, I don't think he's on a lap. And as well, if he wants to do a second one, 1.2 laps of fuel. No way. There's absolutely no way. There is now high exiting turn. What is he doing? Oh, he's now starting his second flying lap. He goes behind Jose, 155.866. But Jose crosses line and he goes P8, 139.841. He goes ahead of Tilted by a long way, but at less than a tenth behind Coke. And Alfa Romeo has spun on the exit of turn 21. That is Dietrich on the exit of turn 21. I guess too much on the throttle, and that was his lap run. I mean, he had invalidation as well. Depends where he got that. If he got that from that spin, or he went too much on the inside of the curb, then it could be that as well. But anyways, he invalidated his time and spun. George has now started his flying lap. More people coming on to the stream. Nice. Luke joining back to the server and joining back to racing in this league. And I know him from a other league. I'm not gonna shout out the league because that league is a little bit dead. Pete on a flying lap, George on a flying lap, High is on a flying lap, improving. Whoa, that was very scary for High through turn 18. That was very scary, losing the car in turn 18, through turn 18 and 19, not very good place, but High crosses the line, and he goes P9, 140.745, out of Tilted, but 9 tenths behind Jose, as he goes straight, as he goes flat out through turn 1 and 2. There was the Alfa Romeo crossing line, but that was Alfie starting his flying lap, I think. George going through the third sector, going to turn 18. 19th on the second gear. Matters started in the pit, turn 20, 21, a little bit too much on the curb through turn 20, but still did invalidate through turn 22, 23, and he comes across the line and he goes P9, 140.005. OGP? No, that was Pete. Sorry, Pete through the line, and he goes 11th, 140.834. He has to be behind as Luke has now started his flying lap. Yellow flags ahead of him. That's an Alpine going slow. Who's next to cross the line? Not Pete. Pet is about to cross the line, but he's now starting his flying lap, as well as Shimini. Then his teammates High, I think, going into the pits. Yeah, going into the pits. I mean, I would predict that he's going into the pits. He has only 5% of ERS 6, and he has only 1 lap of fuel. Yeah, he's going in. Tilted. He might be on an sorry, out lap. I meant out lap. Then there's Alfie finishing his lap, and he goes P13, 140.972. Behind him there was Coke, but he was on an out lap. No, he finished his lap, but he made a mistake, I would assume. GP on an out lap. I would say Dietrich as well was on an out lap, or is on an out lap. Luke is on a flying lap, 1 minute 6.006 to the second sector, and through the third sector to turn 21 and into turn 22 and 23. No invalidation, and he comes close on, and he goes P9, 139.855, very close behind Jose, but out of George. He's in the Alpine sandwich, you can call that. Turkler crosses the line, but I think he is starting his flying lap. He's still yet to actually finish a flying time, as he went a little bit deep on the exit of turn 2. I don't, or it could have been that the camera was just making it a bit dramatic. There's an Alpine going slow. What is happening between George and Gemini? What was that? I mean, I would assume that George blocked Gemini on a flying lap. I would assume that's why Gemini was turning into him. Tilted crosses the line, and he goes P11 out of High, just 11 thousandths out of High. That's still a long way to go to George, but obviously the car difference. Tilted is in the Williams, George is in the Alpine. But back to the George and Gemini incident. I mean, it's still not very good to turn into someone, even though they blocked you. You can always report that to the FIA, and he could maybe get a penalty or something, a quali ban, Q3 ban, I don't know. Dietrich crossed the line, and he is now in P11, 140.708. On GP into the pits, I would assume. Tur crossing line, he goes P6, 139.317. Shazza, guess, yeah, he invalidated his lap. I have food right now, so I don't know. Pet didn't is invalidated. Less than 4 minutes to go. Stack is on an outlap. High is on a inlap, no, outlap. Tilted is on a inlap, I would assume. Yeah, inlap. There is Jose as well coming out of the pits, letting past Stack and High on their respectable flying laps. There's as well Dietrich. No, he's invalidated his one. Tur is on an in lap, and Alfie on an out lap. So now only I guess High is on a flying lap, since Stack let through High. But a weirder one. I don't know. Maybe Stack did a mistake as well and doesn't want to finish this lap. High through the first sector, didn't actually see. GP has retired in the pits. High through turn 13 looks good. Overall, the lap looked good that I saw through the second sector. He's improving by 4.5 tenths through the second sector. So at this pace, at this rate, he's going to be behind George, but that of Dietrich. Now sector 3, everything can go wrong in here. Here you can turn in too early here as well, or just go too much on the throttle. Turn 20, take too much of the curb, and turn 21 as well, and go too much on the throttle into turn 22 and 23. From High, there was no mistakes, and he goes P8. 1.1 seconds gained throughout the lap. 139.631 from the Aston Martin. A very good lap by High. One season ago, he was struggling to get out of Q1. Now he's almost constantly in Q2. High is literally evolving around here in this season. Stack gaining already 3.5 tenths through the first sector, but Stack did his first lap on the mediums, so he is gonna be gaining a lot through the corners that there are too many. I would say Jose is as well on a flying lap. Can't see how much was improving through the first sector. Alfie has invalidated his one and spun on the X of turn 8. Stacked through the second sector. It's an improvement of 1.4 seconds. Jose, meanwhile, well, come on, give me the. This game is sometimes ass. George joined in back in. Didn't see him leaving, but all right. Now both Stack through turn through this third sector. Stack is gonna be the first one out of the two to cross the line. Stack is gonna go P. He stays P17 as he invalidated through the last corner, and it could be that, and it is gonna be that Stack isn't gonna be going into Q2. Jose has improved his time into P4, 138.844. A very good lap by the Alpine Reserve, but this is only Q1. Gemini, meanwhile, and Pet on their laps. Alfie can't improve, so he's gonna be out as well. Gemini through the second sector, 1 minute 5.733. Pet, Pet is ahead. Okay, so we will check Pet first. Through turn 21 and through two last corners, no invalidation. And third line comes. He goes P13, pushing Pete down, but Pete is still on a flying lap. Gemini through line comes. He goes P8, 139.363, pushing now, tilted out. But could be that Dietrich is gonna be out as Pete comes across the line and he goes P15. So Dietrich has been pushed off to the bottom to the bottom 20. No, wait. No. Outside of the top 15. Sorry. So Jack, Stack, Alfie, Tilted, and Dietrich not making it into Q2. So basically, one McLaren, two Alfa Romeos, and one Williams out of Q1. Noise first, Shazza second, Reggie third, 1 second beyond Shazza, but he's on the mediums. Jose fourth, very good lap by him, but still Matt and Lamas are very close behind him. Tur P7, Gemini very close behind Tur. JP making a very good, I guess, a debut in this league. I'm guessing. I don't know if he has been in this league earlier that I've been. So just say a debut. Hi P10, Cook P11, Luke on his return to P12, George 13th, Pet 14th, Pete 15th, half a second ahead of Dietrich, so it's not that he just made it in. But yeah, this was Q1. We will go into Q2. Yeah, not really much interesting about here, as Q1 is usually somewhat of a boring of a qualifying stage. I mean, for the top teams and for the top drivers, it is, but for the drivers who aren't as good and are in the lower teams, it's not like that. It's like they have to really fight for that Q2 appearance. Everyone makes Q1, but not many can make Q2. Now into Q2, where we see a Mercedes. Well, one of the Mercedes getting ready, as well a AlphaTauri, one of the Red Bulls, one of the Haas, Alpine, McLaren. Actually, now both of the Mercedes. Just trying to look at how it is. There's a Williams out, suppose. Yeah, that's Williams. So Luke is first out on track. Then behind him is Pete. Then it's Jose. Behind him it's Tur. Then it is Reggie. Then it's Coke. Then it is Matt, who spun on the exit of turn 3, by the way. Then it's Pet. Then it is High. Then it is Noise. And then it is Lamas. Is there anyone gonna be going out of track? There's Shazza. Is there anyone? Doesn't look like. Everyone, the rest, George, Gemini, and JP, they want to stay in. There's now George coming out of the pits. If it stays like this in terms of the order, It's gonna be Luke who is gonna be the first one to start their flying laps. Sorry. Sorry. But yeah, Luke starts first the flying lap of Q2. Let's see if he invalidates or if anyone will invalidate. I would bet that someone there's gonna be at least someone one driver who is gonna invalidate their lap times. George now he has to either he has to get a little bit of move on or let through the drivers. For example, Luke, as he lets through. Luke's first sector was in 27.6s. Pete's first sector was in 27.7s as Pet has spun going to turn 3. Where the hell am I looking at? Luke through the tunnel and into the hairpin, which is turn 13. And going into the back straight now with the DRS that has been recently added. Second sector 126.276. Pete's second sector is 106.386. Turs, I mean, and I'll check that later on. Or the lap, basically. Coke has done. Could have Coke spun in the. I'll assume that he. What is that camera? I'd assume that he is spun because his rear tires are hot. But Luke crossing line, he goes P1, 140.072. Pete spins going just before the line. Tur goes P1, 137.884. Jose goes second, 139 dead. Pete, he spun on the exit of the very last corner. Reggie goes now P1, 137.736. JP is on an out lap. Noise has gone. He is again out on track. So he must have made something. Coke crosses line. He will go P6. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 6 seconds. 412. Pet to 2 minutes. 442. Interesting times. Lamas puts it in P3. 138.009. There was Pete spun on the exit of turn 9. Shazza could no. He's invalidated his lap. No. Pretty much everyone else is on an in lap. Besides George, who is on an out flying lap. I don't know why always when I'm commentating I'm always yawning. While George is on a flying lap, ahead of him there's Tur who spun, and Tur has damaged his front wing. George's third sector looked good. And going to turn 20 and 23, he comes across line and he goes P6, 140.312. Then there is Noise. He will cross the line, but he is going to be starting his flying lap. I'd assume that was OJP. No, OJP is on an out lap. What the? How is he again on an out lap? Has he gone again in like Noise? Maybe. High goes into the pits. Noise has started his flying lap. Shazza has started his flying lap as well a while ago. We'll look at his into the hairpin. Pet has improved his time to 140.128. He goes in P7. Shazza through the second sector 1 minute 5.287. The yellow flags in the first 3 corners. That is Lamas going to the pits probably, and causing yellow flags through the 2 last corners. Shazza through turn 18 and now turn 19, turn 20, turn 21 as he loses the car on the exit of turn 21. too much on the power on the exit, and as well his gearing was very low. He was on the second and third gear through those corners. I was very surprised that he was on that low gears, but no, but he has now spun it, going through turn 21. Noise now on the same with Shazza, but he hasn't spun. And into turn 22 and 23, he comes across the line and he goes P3 137.956. If I remember right, his Q1 lap time was 37.4. So there's still a lot of time to find from Noise. Coke going into the pits. Matt on the out lap, so he's gonna be starting his flying lap now. Gemini on the flying lap. I'll assume I'm gonna put the tires because then I can tell if someone is on a flying lap. OJP on a flying lap as he saves the car through turn 12. Very good save by him, but that lost him a few tenths from that. Second sector for JP, it's 1 minute 5.903 or 503, somewhere around there. I can't remember what was his timing there. Is there anyone else on the flying laps? No. High on the out lap. Matt is on a flying lap. Luke, I can't tell, but I would concentrate on OJP through the two last corners, and he's gonna be going P6 139.670. Well, between Jose and Coke, about a little over two tenths faster than Coke, but there's still a lot to Jose. Well, between the gap from Jose and JP, you can't tell it by yourself because Jose did a lap of exactly 139, so you can tell it. You can just see it. High coming across line, and he hasn't validated his lap or the in lap. Can't tell. Don't know. I guess it was an out lap. Out lap. Matt is going back into the pits. I guess he's having the same problems as Tur had in Q1. Luke on the flying lap, I would assume he's improving to the second sector by 7.5 tenths. So through the second sector, I'm assuming that he's found a lot of time. And crossing the line, he goes P6. He didn't actually find time. He actually lost time through the third sector, a tenth. But he still goes 6 out of JP. But yet again, you can see the gap. Well, now it's more simple to say 4 tenths to Jose. I'm just running it off. I can't be asked to say 4 tenths and 9 thousandths. It's just too long. I'm already saying the tenths, hundreds, and thousands. Like, I'm not gonna say the exact amount, like in the pronunciation of the tens, hundreds, thousands. But let me just check that one comment since nothing is right. You know, the cars are equal to. The cars are not equal, mate. The cars in the first division are not equal. They're realistic. These cars are realistic. That's why you can see such big gaps from Reggie to now, like, Pet or Gemini or Coke. These gaps would be a lot closer if this division would be equal, and they would be very close. But these are equal, so realistic. These are realistic in this first division. So yeah, Shazai goes P5 138.010 1000s behind Lamas. Let me just check that. How many people thought that these were equal? Wait, at this point I'm confused myself. Are these equal or not? I swear that these are realistic. I swear that these are realistic. Prestige is as well realistic, but it's just taken from another league to just continue that. I swear that these are realistic. Yeah. Yeah, like Hennessy would be killing it in that Williams if these cars would be equal. Hennessy is like an esports driver. But off of that, are these realistic or not? The car performances. At the moment, Gemini, Pet, George, Pete, and Matt are out of Q2 at the moment. There is 1.5 minutes to go, so these are now going to be the final times. Pete goes P10, 139.712, but there's still 5 drivers who are yet to do a time. Coke is going to be somewhat close if he can make it. If he can make the lap time, we'll see. Pet now starts his flying lap. George is improving on his lap. 6.5 cents to the second sector. Third sector, he probably can improve more, and he goes P8, 139.020. And between Jose High and George, it's only 200s. I didn't even realize that High is only 4,000s behind Jose. I didn't even clock that. So now Pete is pushed down to P11, and he's not doing a flying lap, so he is gonna be out of Q2. And there ahead, there's Shaza, but he is not on a flying lap. No, that was Gemini. I'm guessing on the out lap. He is now going to be starting his final flying lap. Coke, he is going to be just in there. He still had few seconds. 9, 8, 7. So yeah, he still had 7 seconds to spare. Luke is now starting his final flying lap as well. So Pete, the JP was improving through the second sector a lot. Jose has invalid his time, so he won't improve. Pet is improving on his time, but not enough to provisionally go into the top 10. Pet through the 2 final corners. He is gonna go P10, 139.563. So he now goes provisionally into the Q3, but JP comes across line and he goes P6, 138.510 and pushes Pet down. Matt will come across line. He hasn't validated this lap and he goes P2, 137.808, pushing Luke down. Who else on the lap? George is not on the lap. Luke is improving through the first sector. Second sector, he's improving by almost 2.5 tenths, so he still has to find double that to make it in. Gemini is on a flying lap, so we will see him, as well as Koki is on a flying lap. Gemini through the 2 final corners, and he goes P9, 139.000. Jose, he says the exact same time as Jose. The exact same time as Jose. Koga goes P8, 138.870. Luke keeps his time to 138.965. What are these times? Jose just makes it in because he set that lap time first. What are these gaps? From Jose to George, it's only 19,000s. Between Jose... What are these lap times? That was so close in Q2. But Jose just makes it into Q2 because he set that lap time first. Reggie P1, Matt P2, Turp P3, the Ferraris 4 and 5, Shaza P6, JP making it into the top 10 on his debut, Coke P8, Luke on return to Q3 as well, Jose P10. What's at these gaps? Luke 38.964, Jose 39 dead, Gemini 39 dead, High 39.003, George 39.018. I mean, Luke I just added because that was makes the comparison with more people, but it's only 18,000 between 4 drivers, and it was only 3,000 between 3 drivers. What? I wouldn't have expected it. I mean, it's still pretty damn impressive that High was 4 times behind Jose. Then as well that Shaza was behind Lamas or Noise at some point. Only 1,000 behind. But then I guess there was Gemini who made it that Jose and that him made it that it was gonna be the same exact lap time. It just little bit better on a lap, just a little bit more, a little bit earlier on the throttle, on the exit of one corner, or just going that 1 km/h faster, or just a little bit cleaner through one corner. It could have been it could have been different for both of the drivers, but all of the drivers are now out, or most of the drivers are out on track. Jose being the first one, then it's Matt, and then it's Coke, then it's Tur, then it is Noise, then it is Reggie, then it is Lamas, then Luke, and then it's gonna be between Shaza and JP. I'm just saying not OJP, I'm saying JP because one, it reminds me of Jensen Button, which he was called JP or something like that. I think he had another nickname, but it's just more comfortable for me to say JP, not OJP, and it's faster. I'm sometimes just just saying shorter. I'm trying to keep the name same as it is, but just make it shorter, like for Coke. I'm not gonna say XX Coca-Cola 112XX. I'm just gonna con Coke because it's good to say. Sure, I could say Bell, but or Bow. Okay, Bow. Jose is gonna start his flying lap first. Then it is Matt. No, it was Bow. No, I'm just gonna stick with Tur. Then it's Matt, and then it is Coke, and then it's Reggie, then it is Noise, and now everyone is out on track. JP is very far behind everyone. He's so far ahead of Jose, but so far behind Luke, but who cares about that? Already one of the Mercedes hasn't validated their times or made a mistake. That is Matt, who made a mistake, and his lap is gonna be... He hasn't validated, but it's not good to have your lap already ruined. As well as Reggie has... No, that was Coke. Sorry, that was Coke. Who ruined his lap as well by invalidating. Jose's first second is gonna be a 1 minute 5.293. For Tur, it's gonna be a 1 minute 4.376. For Reggie, it's gonna be a 1 minute 4.419. Was Tur going faster than Reggie through the second sector? I think it was. JP is back in the pits, by the way. Jose hit the wall on the exit of turn 21, but I guess that didn't give him any damage as he goes P1 138.617, but that was only temporarily, because turn now goes P1 137.289, fastest time that we have seen all day. Reggie goes only P2 137.571, but Noise goes provisional pole position 137.162. Now this is the fastest time that we have seen all qualifying. Lamar goes very close behind Reggie, 137.586. Luke goes P6, 139.049. Then Shaza is now on a flying lap. Coke is on a flying lap, so we will as well need to check on them. But Reggie has somewhere had to make a mistake. I mean, probably he did make a mistake somewhere in the lap, or maybe he's just not being comfortable around this track. We will see on the second runs. Shaza through turn 11 and now through turn 12 into turn 13 now. One of the Mercedes spun that stir. Shaza hit the wall on the exit of turn 13, but I don't think that has affected him. Shaza's second sector 1 minute 4.522 as well, not the fastest second sector. I don't know if there are yellow flags caused by noise out. Yeah, noise. I guess Noise has run out of fuel. Let me just check. Yep, ran out of fuel. Gravity has joined in, but there are 20 seats already taken. Shaza coming across the line. That was a big cut through the last corner, but he goes P5 137.626. Very close beyond Lamas, must say. Coke goes P8, almost a second behind Luke, as he now runs out of fuel. He now has run out of fuel, so he's gonna have to do this whole lap without fuel, and as well now JP is on a flying lap, but not the resurrector, but the fuel thingy is on hard. Yeah, it's hard, so it is very slow going like that. OGP's first sector, please. I guess it doesn't want to give it to me. I guess it's just shy. But first sector looked good. Now into second sector, turn 11. Now into turn 12 now. Again, a little bit the same mistake as he did previously in Q2. But still he saved it. And second sector split it to 1 minute 5.508. It's not looking good for JP. Now into the twisty bit of this lap, hitting the wall on the exit into turn 18. Now into turn 19. Turn 20, very close to the wall on the entry. Into turn on the exit of turn 21 as well, very close to the wall, hit that wall, and going to turn 22 and 23, he goes across the line and he goes P8 between Luke and Coke, 139.5499. Coke cuts these corners. I mean, it's pain to drive with low fuel. I can relate. I mean everyone can relate to driving on low fuel. On this game, it's pain. It's difficult. I mean, no, not difficult, but it's just annoying that you go half the speed that you could actually go, and you have to go like two minute lap around this circuit. That's one of the longest laps. I mean, it's by distance, it's not the longest. It's one of the longest, but it's not the longest. But as well. The lap time, it's one of the longest. Spa has slower than this. I swear that there's another track that has slower than this. Abu Dhabi, no. US, no. I swear that there's another track. Or I'm just... Or there is... Or actually, no. Actually, there isn't. Jose has now started his probably final flying lap. How much fuel does he have? 3 laps. So even if he invalidates this lap, he can do another one. The 2 Mercedes are as well out on track. Then the flurry of noise, and then the whole bunch of other cars. AlphaTauri of Luke. Then both of the Red Bulls from Shaza and Reggie. Then the McLaren of Coke. JP goes into the pits. Lamas is going out now for JP. I think it's gonna be too late to go out now. 1 minute 50. 1 minute 50. Yeah, and then out lap. I mean, if you cut the corners and everything, I don't think it's gonna be enough. I don't think it's gonna be enough for him. Jose first sector. It just doesn't show the previous first sector. I don't understand. Okay, anyways, turn 13 on the exit. Lost the rear. He could not be. I mean, he is improving 3 tenths, but he is giving up the lap there. Going to turn 14, so he has enough fuel. But the ERS, he has to save the ERS. He has less than 50%. Less than 50%, yes. Just 50%. So he's gonna have to somehow get into 80% or so. For OJP is now getting out of the pits. But the worst possible news for him, that there's a car on the flying lap ahead of him. And that is the car from Matt, who has invalidated already his lap. Which OJP doesn't know. He doesn't know that he's invalidated. Now he knows that he is invalidated, but that is too late. Tur hasn't invalidated. He hasn't made a mistake. And through the first sector, is he improving? He's improving by almost 2 tenths through the first sector. Almost improving through the first sector by 2 tenths. Jose through the first sector. He is going on the same... in a row. He's improving by almost 1.5 tenths through the first sector. Noise sets a new fastest lap, sets a new fastest sector, as Coke has crashed out on the exit, going to turn 3. Oh, that could have been very painful for the drivers who have been going through that corner, as they can't take the normal line. Or if they take it, then not as comfortable one. Third through the second sector. He's not improving that much, as there's an Haas ahead of him, and he's now just stayed there, but that is an AI of OJP, so OJP can't do anything about it. Turp is gonna be fuming, but JP can't do anything about it. He can't do anything about it. His AI, or the game, just took the car, and it wasn't his fault that much. Noise coming across the line. Does he improve on his time? He does improve by what a margin. 136.520. Over half a second of improvement. Reggie has retired or crashed out somewhere, I don't know, but he isn't gonna improve on his time. Lamas was improving through the second sector, but what was that lap time from Noise? Going to 136s. Shasta through the finish line, and he goes P2, 136.949. Lamas goes P3, 137.186. And that is the qualifying hit here. So Noise with a striking lap time of little over 4 tenths faster than Shaza, and his championship rival Reggie a second faster. But Reggie, his first sector wasn't ideal, and the second first sector. First lap wasn't ideal. Second lap, I guess crashed out or something. So he's down in P5. But that is a pole position for Noise. Shaza P2, Lamas P3. So both the Ferraris are very close between each other. Third in P4, Dennis Reggie, Jose P6, Luke P7, JP in P8, Coke P9, and Matt without a lap time P10. I'm expecting Tur to be fuming about that. JP didn't get out of the way, but JP can't do anything about that. He literally couldn't do anything about that because it was an AI that he couldn't control. He wasn't in the AI mode, or I mean it was, but he wasn't. But I mean it wasn't really his fault, if you know what I mean. It wasn't really his fault. The game just took over the car, so he was an AI that he couldn't really control. He didn't go into he didn't press the options button. He just yeah, I mean it's not really his fault. He couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't do anything about it, really. JP couldn't really do anything about it. It wasn't really his fault. But I mean, it's still... Yes, it is equal performance. No, sorry, realistic. Yeah, realistic, sorry. Realistic. This is realistic. This is realistic performance. Very, very professional. Yes, very, very professional. Not like that there's 20 crying babies racing or something. No, okay, maybe not 20, but there is some. There are definitely some that are crybabies in this league. Yeah, the game is alright. The game didn't give me the alright now. Okay, I thought that I was gonna have to have to restart the game, and basically with that restart my whole stream, but here we are. Most of the top 10 drivers went for the hards. 6 of them went for the hards, and the rest went for the mediums, and basically the rest of the grid went for the mediums, besides Stack went on the softs. So Noise, Tur, Reggie, Luke, JP and Matt on the hards, then Shaza, Hamas, Jose, Coke, Shimani, High, George, Pet, Pete, Dietrich, Tilted, Alfie and Jack on the mediums. Tilted and Alfie got disqualified, so a contact between them. And Stack, the other one on the softs. A little bit of a weird strategy, I must say, on the softs around Singapore. Even I mean, even on his game going under the softs, it's not really good in the race if it's no safety car in the race. But if there's gonna be a safety car, a very good one for the soft runners at the beginning, then it could pay off. But I don't see it being a safety car good for Stack, or good timing for Stack. As now, we will be going. Well, the drivers are going to be slowly slotting into their grid positions. I'm gonna immediately put the position change so that they can see who is gonna be going through. Brr. Well, have fun with him. He's gonna be fuming. Jack is gonna be is now a little bit of a slowpoke right now, as the other drivers up ahead already sliding onto the grid slots. Look at Shaza What is what is that? And why is it giving this very bad camera? Look at the angle as well as from Tur. What is that angle? And as well from one of the Alfa Romeos, that angle. Jesus, many drivers going very different on the angles. I can't really see the lights as the cameraman is doing a very bad job with the wobbling. Aren't these... don't they have stands? But it's one light, two lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights are out. And away we go here in Singapore. Noise gets a very good start, as well as Shaza, but the top 3 stays the same for now. Behind, what is going on behind? Tur is fighting Lamas into turn 3, so we could see a position change between them, but Lamas stays in P3, so the top 6 now stays the same. Meanwhile, JP has lost some positions on the hards, and as well Pet is spun round on the exit of turn 4, and that is a virtual safety car. Up ahead there is a leader change, that is Shaza ahead of Noise. As Pet retires, he just pressed the button, so it shouldn't be a full one. But those who started on the mediums will lose some positions. Like Noise lost 1 position, as well as Luke and JP. Matt did gain 2 positions off the start, going from P10 to P8. Noise wants to get his P1 back. I guess he's sort of initiating that the way that Shazak got that P1 was not fair. Jack has spun on the exit of turn 13. He's down the packs, almost 8 seconds behind. Coke has been overtaken by Matt into turn 17. I'm guessing Jose is okay. Jose is not in the AI. Ooh, that could be some damage for Jose, as he hit that wall pretty hard on the exit. Jack yet again spun now on the exit of turn 17. That is still Shaza leading the race. We have started lap 2 of 31, so many more laps to go, 29 to be exact. So it's at the moment Red Bull 1 and 5 and Ferrari 2 and 3. Sector 3, that is yet again Jack having problems with the car, I guess, and with himself, basically. Sector 3 yet again Jack. I'd say he would just he's now doing donuts. In my opinion, he would just need to, if he is on, he would just need to go up on the traction control. I mean, in my opinion, at the moment. The moment, nothing really much happening. I mean, on this track, overtaking isn't as easy. Not every single corner is an overtaking opportunity, as behind Dietrich has spun going through the little tunnel or the little bridge, and he has broken his front wing off. Now Stack and Alfie are a little bit fighting for P16, but Stack is lagging all over the place. So the internet in Greece, or for him, might be not the best. Jack is yet again spinning 120 degrees on those rear tires. No wonder that he's spinning like that, as High has spun on the exit of turn 21, and he is now down to P17. Stack has now overtaken Alfie, as Alfie has spun on the exit of the last corner. There are still yellow flags, as now Luke is now down the order, spun on the exit of turn 3. Jack has retired by pressing the button, so that shouldn't be a safety car. Now George is having some troubles, as he's now lost a position to GP. What is he doing? Turning in on JP on the straight, completely just turning in on JP. But as well, JP has turned in on Tilted, as now Stack has spun on the exit of turn a little bit weirdly on the exit of turn 7. That was pretty late spin, and that is yet again a virtual safety car. That was very weird by George and JP. I must say that was very weird by two of them. George turned in on JP. Just my man just took the quote from Doc Hudson. If you want to go to the left, you have to turn right. But he just took that the other way. Alfie has now 2 drive-through penalties. So Alfie is gonna have some pain with that. Shemina as well gets a drive-through penalty. And also there's another one from race control something, but for Aston Martin in qualifying it's looking good, but I guess in the race it's going very bad very quickly, as George now is getting overtaken by Tilted, as George is in the pits, as JP as well in the pits. So the two of them are now down the order. Shazza still can't really get out of, or he can't really get Noise out of his DRS. By the way, Shazza has gained 1 position, Noise has lost 1 position. Alfie gets a 5-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Lamas, Tur, Reggie, Jose have stayed on their respective positions. Alfie has retired in the pits, so no worry about the safety car there. Matt has gained 3 positions on the hards. Coke has gained 1 position. Pete has gained 6 positions. As who is that? That is Gemini Spawn in turn 9. By the looks of it, I think he was tapped from behind. That's a very weird place to spin, or at least in that position that he was. He was like in mid corner that he spawned, so he must have been hit from behind. Now Hayes has now spun, now this time on the exit of turn 13. So now Pete is up to piece, up by 6 positions. Tilted is up by 7 positions, starting from P17, but he's going to be getting attacked by Luke, as Tur has spun on the exit of turn 21, and he is now down in P8. Front wing damage not looking like that he has any front wing damage, but he's now down in P8, 2.5 seconds behind Coke. Meanwhile, up ahead, Noise is out of the DRS from Shazza. Noise has less ERS than Shazza, and Lamas has less ERS than Noise and Shazza. We'll see as well what the Ferrari teammates are gonna do. Is Noise gonna let Lamas through, since Lamas is on the mediums, although Lamas is slower than Noise? Or is it gonna be that Noise stays ahead and Lamas stays behind? Gemini is in the pits, serving his drive-through, I think. No, yeah, drive-through. Luke down by 4 positions, Stack up by 7 positions, High down by 1 position, Gemini down by 3 positions, although it can be by 4 positions, as now he's battling George for P14. George on the straight, he has the DRS, he's using ERS, downing down into turn 7, up the inside. Gemini off track, but George didn't push him off. And going to turn 8, they're going side by side, a little bit of contact between them. And going to turn 9, they're still going side by side. And going to turn 9, George has the better run, and he's up to P14, so Gemini has now lost a position, so down by 4 positions. JP down by 8 positions, and Dietrich down by 1 position. High gets a 5 seconds time penalty. Corner cutting. Okay. Noise is very close to Shazza's penalty. What's this guy doing? I mean, now Gemini is spun on the X of turn 14, as well as High was spun in turn. He's now getting more 5-second time penalties, and he's retiring from the race. So his very good P12 is now going to nothing. It's like almost every single race for the Aston Martin boys. They're just getting nothing, as Jose has spun on the X of turn 8. He was in the wall, so he could have some front wing damage, but he's down to P8. It doesn't look like that he has any front wing damage from these perspectives that I'm getting. So I'm guessing no front wing damage to Jose's front wing. It could be something else, maybe rear wing, maybe side pod somehow. I don't know. Nothing, not that much happening at the moment. Gemini in the pits. JP is very close to George within this 1 second. Luke as well has been somewhat close to tilted for quite some time. Coke has gotten closer to Matt. While Matt has that 3-second time penalty on lap 6 already. Noise seems that he just can't get close enough to Shazza to get that DRS. It's 1.1, 1.0. No, I mean the DRS detection zone was already is in turn 4, mid turn 4, so he can't get already as Reggie has spun on the exit of turn 5. The championship leader is out of the race, and full safety car has been called out. The championship leader, Reggie, crashed out on the exit of turn 5. And this is a beautiful thing for Noise. Shamrock has a drive-through penalty spinning on the safety car. So for Aston Martin, it's getting worse and worse. Now Lamas is somehow ahead of Noise. I guess Lamas Noise let through, I'm guessing. But this is terrible for Reggie, as his championship rival Noise can get closer to him if Noise gets some good points. If he finishes in the podium, like now P3, he will gain 15 positions, which is, well, he could be getting 10 more points if he would have won, but 15 points, it's still a lot to gain on. Let me just took the check on the standings. Just a quick look on the standings. Just checking the standings real quick. It's here, so Reggie is ahead of Noise by, well, Reggie has 217 points while Noise has 135 points. So the gap is already quite big, but Noise can now catch up to Reggie. So his lead can get smaller. The gap is like around 78 points, so 78, that could be 63 or 53 points. That is a huge margin. There's a very big gain, if you are me, or if yeah. Yeah, and as well for the constructors, it's very important, because now Ferrari can gain on Red Bull. Well, there's still Shazza, so if it's gonna end like this, that Shazza is gonna be P1, Noise P2, and Lamas P4, then Ferrari are gonna gain. That's 18 plus 12. That is 30. Then Shazza, who has the fastest lap, by the way? Shazza, that is 4 points gained for Ferrari if it ends like this. Tur has spun under the safety car in turn 11. Actually, to turn 12. Sorry, turn 12. He could be have some front wing damage. Although on the right side, it doesn't look like that he has any. Left side, no. So I guess he doesn't have any front wing damage. Only Sheza, Noise, Matt, and Luke have stayed out on their tire. They're all actually not. Sheza is on the medium, so he's the only one to stay out on the mediums, and then everyone else who has stayed out are either on the hards or yeah, on the hards, on the used hards. Yeah, now only. Let me just get that into Rosa. So Tur, Tilted, George, Stack, Dietrich, JP, and Gemini, they have to catch up to this. Yeah, Gemini can't really catch up because he's in the. So his lap, so his race is basically over if he wanted to get some points. I mean, if 5 drivers out of him are gonna crash out or just DNF, then he can get a point, but for Gemini it's basically over if he wants to fight for something. Still Stack, Dietrich and JP have to catch up, so I'll just take a quick break. Great at this point. Check one thing. Alright, I'm back. It is a safety car is in this lap already. So there have been some incidents. Matt got a 5-second time penalty, and I guess Tur and Tilted got a 5-second time penalty. So Gemini as well for something. But safety car is in, and the Shazza is already going, as it looks like, as he loses the car on the exit of turn 20. His restart is somewhat ruined. So now Noise is now closer to him. Now the drivers can overtake each other. Noise is waving because he needs to warm up his tires. As behind, Tur is trying to overtake Jose into the first 3 corners, pushes Jose a little bit under the wall. Meanwhile, Tilted has spun, and now he's down in P14. Now in this later stage of the race, or of those tires, Noise is going to be faster than Shazza. Or it should be like this. Let's see how it will be as Coke is trying to overtake Luke around the outside of turn 8 as he does it. And as well, Pete is trying to overtake on the inside of turn 9, and Luke loses on now 4 places in just the space of 3 corners. Terrible restart by Luke. No grip at all. And no confidence on those hearts. And now Pete is now getting attacked by Tur into turn 13. And going to turn 14 now. They're going side by side. But Tur is ahead of Pete as Pete spins Tur out. Pete is in the wall as he tried to avoid him. And as well, George is now spun as well. What is this mayhem around here? As well as George hits Tur as he couldn't go anywhere around. What is happening around here? Jose is now up to P6. Stack is now up to P8. JP is up to P8 as Tur is now spun again in turn 20. The second time that he has spun. Now Luke in the pits. I guess he had some front wing damage. Up out of Pete, they're fighting for P8. P9, sorry, P9. George is trying to overtake Tilted into turn 4 and now into turn 5, but turn 5 isn't the best overtaking place. Meanwhile ahead, Lamas is trying to overtake Matt as well. As they both make contact, Lamas is ahead, but make contact, and that allows Coke to be now up to P3. Meanwhile behind, Pete has overtaken Dietrich into turn 7. Tilted goes a little bit deep, going to turn 8, but Tilted isn't giving up. George around the outside of turn 9 and into turn 10. Who is it gonna be? Neither of these drivers are gonna pull out. Well, now George had to pull out because he was pushed a little bit wide. Tilted isn't giving up on that P9. Meanwhile, up ahead, Coke was quickly overtaken by both Matt and Lamas throughout the lap, but Lamas has lost many seconds on Coke. Well, actually, Noise on his teammates. Well, actually, about 2 seconds, maybe. But Noise is very close behind Shazza. Meanwhile, behind, Tur has spun on the exit of turn 17. This race for Tur is going horrible for him, as he's now down in P13. Meanwhile, behind, Matt has spun in turn 23. He's now down in P8. Could it be P9? Tilted is going in this lap, as in Pete was very close to hit Tilted going into the pits, and maybe even needing to change the front wing off. The DRS has been enabled, but Lamas has been catching up to ahead. Jose is now overtaking Coke into turn 7. Coke is trying to retake that P4 and into turn 9 now, going side by side. Coke on the outside. Coke tries to stay there, and going to turn 10 now. They're still side by side. they're still staying, and Jose who gets too much on the throttle. He hit the wall on the exit. He hits the wall again, I think. He goes now deep into turn 13. So it's a poor run on the exit. Coke is now ahead of Jose, or I mean, a little bit dodgy if we are talking about the ahead as Jose dived down into turn 14. A little bit contact between them, but Coke regains his P4. Stack now overtakes Jose into P15, turn 15, and Stack is into P5. Behind Jose there is JP. I think Jose has some front wing damage from that incident. Shaza has a 3-second time penalty. Noise tries to overtake Shaza into turn 1 around the outside. They make contact. They were both off track. So who is going to be ahead? It looks like Noise is ahead, but Shaza is going to have the DRS on Noise on this main straight. Shaza is just 4.5 tenths behind, using all of his years that he has available. Noise does the same, and into turn 7, Noise stays in P1. Shaza was trying to get a dummy or Noise to go wide, but Noise doesn't and didn't fall for that. And Lamas meanwhile is catching up to these two ahead, so his strategy is planning out very well at the moment. Meanwhile, behind there are some fights. Jose is trying to re-overtake JP into turn 10 now. JP was a little bit off track, but he couldn't go anywhere as he goes side by side into turn 12, as JP has spun on the eggs of turn 12. His mistake that was, as Jose was ahead of JP going to turn 12, as of behind, that is Dietrich and then Shemenai. George has as well overtaken JP into turn 14. Lamas has caught up to Shaza quite a bit. He's now almost within a second that he needs to get into the DRS. He now doesn't get it, but I mean he could get it, but Shaza goes into the pits to change off from those old mediums. Lamas did get that DRS on Shaza, so he had that a little bit of a boost. Meanwhile, Noise has spun on the exit of turn 2 going to turn 3. That gets the P1 to Lamas. And Noise's strategy could be getting a little bit fucked up a little bit, as he loses crucial seconds of getting ahead of Shaza. But Shaza is in some, not traffic, as Dietrich let him through, sort of. He doesn't get the DRS, although he doesn't get the DRS, he's gonna be staying ahead of Dietrich out guess. Although Dietrich, he can race Shaza into turn 7, as he's not lapped, but he doesn't choose to. He stays behind Shaza. And George has spun going to turn 9. But a little bit of a weird place to spin as well. JP has spun on the exit of turn 3. Shaza has overtaken George as he spun. As George has again spun, but this time it could have been because of contact between Dietrich and George. As Dietrich is going a little bit wobbly, he isn't going normally. He isn't turning in normally. He just isn't normally turning or anything. So he could have some damage. Or just he was losing the car basically everywhere. Stack is very close behind Coke, but Stack is on the mediums, and this is the stage that mediums are going to be leveling out with the hards. So the longer that Stack stays out, it's getting better for Coke. But it's a very good race for Coke as well, as from starting P9 to be now in P3, it's very good. But there's still a half a race to go. Both of the Alpines in fact pit for new for the new tires. Jose for mediums and George for hards. So he's going into the end. Jose could be going as well until the end on those mediums. We'll see if he's gonna go actually. Lamas comfortably leading this race. Noise in P2, but Noise still has to pit from those hards. The gap between Noise and Shaza, it is 20 seconds. This pit lane has a speed limit of 60 kilometers an hour. No idea what is that in miles per hour. Probably 37, I guess. I saw that someday and somehow that stays in my mind, has stayed in my mind. I guess 37 miles per hour turns at a new false lap, but that is on softs 140.522. I mean, even though it's on the softs, we can't take the credit off that he set a new false lap, which is how much faster? Almost 2 seconds faster than the second fastest time, which is actually one and a half seconds faster than Shaza's time. So he can't take the credit off of him. As well as Turk got a 3 second time penalty going to turn 5. Yeah, I mean, what's this happening in here? Tur, I think he let through Lamas, but the longer that Noise stays out, as he now lost time on the exit of turn 8. He must have made a mistake, a little bit too much on the throttle, but he catches though. So the longer that Noise stays out on those hards, the closer or the further ahead Shaza is gonna be after Noise's pit. Meanwhile, Jose, is fighting Luke for P8 into turn 7, now to turn 8, side by side, a little bit turning from Luke, but no serious incidents. And on the exit of turn 9, Jose hit the wall on the exit of turn 9. Into turn 10, it doesn't look like that he will be overtaking him, as Dietrich has spun in turn 12, which has lost him a few seconds to Shaza and allowed for Luke and Jose to close in a little bit, although Dietrich has that 3 second time penalty. Yeah, 3 second time penalty. As well as Matt, Shaza, Jose, who has overtaken Luke into turn 14 on the inside, although he couldn't keep it. He didn't try and force himself into turn 16. So he is now still behind Luke, but Jose, Pete, they have 3 second time penalties. Tur has 9 seconds. Matisse as well, almost 8 seconds behind Tilted. Then Tilted is 32 seconds behind George. So he's a long way back behind the leaders. He is like, I mean, he's lapped already. Jose has lost the car going into turn 2 as well. Too much on the throttle. I mean, obviously it depends if he's on the full TC or medium TC. JP in the pits. Very weird call, as only 7 laps on the hards. A little bit weird by him. Damaged front wing. Okay, now I see. Damaged front wing and front wing change onto the used mediums. Now I get it. Lamas doesn't really have to worry about, as there's a full safety car, as Tur hits the wall going to turn 18. This is paying up beautifully for Noise, and this is paying up horribly for Shaza, who had to pit of those used mediums. Now the drivers are going to be pitting for the new mediums. Basically everyone. Coke into the pit, Stack for him as well. This is paying beautifully. I mean, it depends if you on the hards or on the mediums first, on the first end. So basically everyone is gonna be back on the mediums. Gemini is staying out, but that is his AI. No, he's not in AI. He could have been unlapped, but he isn't. Pete gets a 3-second time penalty. Shaza is in P6. Nothing really much happening. Jose stays out on those mediums. I mean, there's nothing that he can really do about it. He's still gonna be bidding for new ones. As Jose is rejoining ahead of Shaza, so there's a one more card to overtake for Shaza. D-switch to go into the mediums as well. Luke onto the hearts. Wait, wasn't... Wait, what? Wait. Let me quickly check. What was his previous... Oh, mediums. Okay. Okay. Pete onto the softs. Not ideal, I must say. Not ideal. George onto the used softs. JP, who has just pitted, so I don't think he's gonna pit. Tilted, he's gonna probably pit. Gemini, I mean, he can't really do anything. Really. Yeah, Tilted in. JP staying out. That's what I expected. So this is now very interesting for Ferrari. A 1 and 2 for them, but as well, Lamar's in P1, Noise in P2. Noise is fighting for the championship, mathematically still in, as there's only, this is around 12 of round 16, if I remember right. Let me just quickly check how many of them were how many races were in the this is round 12. Yeah, so there's still US, Japan, Brazil and Abu Dhabi, so there's still chance for Noise if his luck turns around, and as well for Reggie the luck turns around. So basically for Noise it would have to turn around for the good way, and for Reggie it would have to turn the bad way. So for Reggie basically everything goes bad, and then for Noise just everything goes good, and then all of a sudden Noise will be the champion. But I mean it a little bit depends as well. Peter starts in the pits. A little bit odd, but yeah, this is round 12 of round 16. If Noise would win this race, then it would be 25 points for him. That would mean 78. That would be 53 points between Reggie and Noise. So it'd be a huge gain for Noise. I mean P2 as well. P2 is gonna be good. Oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. That wasn't good. That was way too close for Noise. Luckily, I mean I don't know if luckily, but Gemini was behind him. He hit Noise, but Noise didn't spin. That was very scary. From the Ferrari pair. I mean, Lamar's just sort of like slowed down unexpectedly, or at least Noise didn't expect it, and then Gemini didn't expect it, and Noise almost hit Lamar's. Then Gemini hit Noise, but I don't think for Noise there should be any sort of significant damage. So this guy's not in this lap. Yeah, and also this for the 1 and 2 at the moment that it is for what? Why has Jose all of a sudden overtaken Stack and Matt? Anyways, well, this is very good for Ferrari as well in the constructors, as I thought that it started raining. I thought that it started raining, but let me just finish it. Safety car is in his lap, very late call. the constructors. This is very good for the constructors as well for Ferrari, as they're gonna gain huge points if they stay in this formation like this. It's still gonna be a very good gain. Lamas still isn't going. He is gonna be going now. So the race has been restarted. Noise didn't sleep on the restart, but Coke, who needed to be behind Shemina until the finish line, he's now a little bit behind the Ferraris. Jose and Matt, they're having their little scrap. Shaza can't do anything about it now. Tilted has been spun a little bit. Matt is now ahead of back ahead of Jose. There are very random yellow flags. Shaza has stayed behind Jose as Matt has overtaken Stack into turn 7. As Shaza is trying to overtake as well Jose into turn 8. Stack has just sort of led through everyone besides his own teammate. He has blocked his teammate Luke, and Luke has lost a position to JP as well. A bit of a Ocon Alonso-esque situation from Hungary 2022. That Stack just didn't help Luke, and Luke just lost a position, or basically both Stack and Luke lost a position to JP. Shaza is now up to P6, very close behind Jose. Shaza knows that he has better pace than Jose, and he's in a better car. So he wants to use this as an advantage, and as well better tires than Jose. 3-lap better tires. So he knows it. I mean, maybe not the tires, but he knows that he has better pace and better car. So he obviously wants to he obviously wants to overtake him as quickly as possible. If penalties. Okay, so basically in that top between Matt, Jose, Shaza, and Dietrich, everyone has 3 seconds time penalties. So it doesn't matter between the penalties at the moment. Between the Ferrari drivers, it has stayed the same. Lamas in P1, Noise P2, and Coke as well in P3, following very close behind the Ferraris. Surprisingly, he's somewhat close to the Ferraris. Luke has now lost the place to George as they're now fighting into turn 8. Luke on those old hearts just can't do anything as he's in the wall. Lost a bit of his front wing. Tilted as well hits him. Tilted could be having as well little front wing damage, and Luke leaves the session. Yeah, a little bit frustrated all about this. I mean, probably the strategy and his teammate, that his teammate blocked him while the other drivers were just going past them and past his teammate as well, but he couldn't overtake his teammate. Jose and Shaza are fighting into turn 16. Jose isn't letting it go. They're touching a little bit, going to turn 18. Shaza is ahead of Jose into turn 18. Shaza risked it a little bit into turn 16, but it had paid off, and he is ahead of Jose, who has spun on the exit of turn 21. And he is now down in P10, P11 even. And JP 3-second time penalty yet again. No, that is his first 3-second time penalty. Shazan now has a 2.7 gap, 2.7 seconds gap to Matt now. The Ferraris are still staying the same. Coke doesn't have the DRS, so and neither ERS. Matt has a little bit of it. Shaza has way more of it. Jose has spun yet again. Now on the exit of turn 5. He doesn't see any purpose on this. I guess he wants to retire, but please don't crash out on purpose, please. Yeah. Stack is very close behind JP. And I mean, Stack at the moment is in a brilliant situation because he doesn't have any penalties. Meanwhile, JP and Dietrich are out of him. They have both 3 seconds, so this is very good for him. But he has to watch out for George behind. Matt gets another 3-second time penalty. Another one, yeah, another 3-second time penalty. So this is working out very, very good for Shazza as he's within his 3 seconds. So, well, it will be good for Shazza to overtake him, but he doesn't need to if he wants that P4, only P4. Stack has overtaken JP as he has now made a mistake into turn 20 and has spun in turn 21. And he's down in P10. Tailtit is up to the points from P17 to P8 now. Very good for him, as just he hasn't made any mistakes. JP has retired in the pits and no purpose in this. Jose out. Please don't crash out. Please don't crash out on purpose, please. Jose, retire. Yeah, good. You have retired in the pits. Like this. And it's a full... Ah, yeah, because of the debris. I mean, no, they're still going flat out. They're still going somewhat flat. It says virtual safety car, so I mean, it is virtual safety car. It should end somewhat quickly. It was caused because of the debris that Jose caused on the pit wall, unfortunately. I mean, it's just annoying that someone just crashed out on purpose to cause a safety car. I mean, I don't think that he's causing a purpose for Shazza or anyone. He's just doing it on purpose because he can't be asked to retire just in the pits, pressing a button. And so yeah, for Gemini, well, he has to still gain a lot to Luke. I mean, Luke just left. He didn't retire. He just left. So Gemini, if he wants to get into the points, he would have to need one more driver to retire. Darius has been unable to yet again. So the virtual safety car has ended. Everything has stayed the same. Matt has gained a lot on Coke. He has cut a lot of that first corner, not gonna lie. But he's within that DRS zone. Shazza isn't. He isn't within that DRS zone. He won't have the DRS. Matt is close to Coke. Matt has a lot more ERS. Going to turn 7. Matt around the outside. Coke backed out of it. So Coke doesn't fight with him. He knows that Matt has a 6-second time penalty. So Matt is up to P3. But with the penalties, it looks like it's gonna be Coke ahead. Although there's still very quick Shazza behind him. So he's gonna have to watch out for him behind us. Into turn 14 he could cause some trouble, but no, it doesn't look like it. He's staying behind him, not trying anything stupid. Matt gets another 3-second time penalty. It's a penalty festival for him, pen festival for him, with a 9-second time penalty. Ferraris, nothing really has changed. They're driving their own race. I mean, probably Noise would like to Lamas to just get out of the way and let Noise through for the championship. I mean, that's crucial for Noise. That is very crucial for Noise to get ahead of him. George has overtaken Stack into turn 1, although George goes off track, but he has overtaken him before going off track. Shazza has overtaken Coke into turn 6, basically we can say. So Shazza is now up to 4th with the penalties applied. P4 still, but I'd probably say Shazza is gonna overtake Matt and get out of Coke's 3 seconds, or himself 3 seconds. So basically, he would be third. Or like run away from Coke and stay behind Matty if he really wants it. All right, there. That is what I tried to say. Lamas has way less ERS than Noise, so is Noise trying to save up the ERS to attack Lamas? I mean, for Noise it would be bad. For Lamas, I mean, for Noise would be good. For Lamas would be bad. For the Ferrari TP would be bad because you don't want your teammates to be fighting, especially in the late stages and especially for the win, because that can cause tension as Lamas gets a 3-second time penalty. Noise doesn't need to overtake Lamas anymore. He doesn't need to overtake him. He can just cruise home if he wants to. Although Lamas has the DRS on. No, he doesn't have the DRS on Luke. But Lamas is gonna be pushing now to get out from Noise. Well, first to get out of Noise's 1 second to just run away, and so that Noise doesn't get the DRS. But one thing that Noise has that Lamas doesn't is over 70% of ERS. Lamas has well in single digits. Well, it wasn't 2 digits. Now it's 2 digits. So probably no matter what, Noise is gonna be ahead of Lamas. I mean, it obviously depends if Noise gets a 3-second time penalty or if Noise spins. That would be as well bad for him. There's still 4 laps to go, almost 3 laps to go. Shaza has caught up to Matt now. Coke is cruising at the moment. I mean, obviously he wants to get. What the? 7. Wait, no, is that a bot? No, everything just doubled. Alright, every single comment just doubled. Okay. I was very confused. I had to check that. If there isn't some of those bots that just like, hey, you alone? Shows like it's another 3-second time penalty. So this is looking very good for Coke to get a podium in Singapore. Shaza overtakes Matt into turn 7, but Matt doesn't give up. Dives down back into turn 7 and into turn 8. Shaza on the inside, Matt on the outside. Shaza is ahead of Matt into turn 9. Matt dives it down. Contact between them. Matt is spun round. And that is Matt down to P5. And Coke is up to P4. With that, Shaza has lost some time on the Ferraris up ahead. Matt, probably with those penalties, he's going to be down the order behind this train that is behind Dietrich. Dietrich could be getting as well a P8. Gemini has caught up to Luke's the AI, but Gemini still has to get 13 seconds on him on that AI. We'll see if he can get that in the 3 laps. Lamas starts the lap 29 off of lap 31. Shaza doesn't really seems to have the pace. Let's through Coke, and that is Coke back up to P3. Coke is using every single bit of his ERS. Shaza doesn't have much of his ERS neither. It's just Shaza. I mean, does Shaza have some front wing damage? He does have front wing damage. That's why he is going so slow. Shaza has this front wing damage, and that has gifted sort of Coke a confirmed P3 and a podium in the McLaren. So basically, you could say Ferrari 1, 2, and 3 since Coke raced for the first half of the race in the Ferrari. Dietrich is getting attacked by George into turn 7 and now into turn 8. George is still staying behind of the Alfa Romeo. Although he doesn't have to fight him actually, because Dietrich has a penalty of 3 seconds. But obviously he wants to get in within Matt's 9 seconds. Although Matt's the gap from George to Matt is 5 seconds or so. A little bit over now, 5 seconds. Lamas is gonna through the 2 final corners. He is gonna start the penultimate lap of the race. On the last lap I'll talk about everything on that. But Coke now just is gonna cruise home to the P3 as well. Even though if he gets a 3 seconds time penalty, it doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter because Sheza has a 6 second time penalty and broken front wing. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he gets a 3 second time penalty. Even if it's 6 seconds. It doesn't matter. Maybe if he spins, then, but he could gain that gap on Shaza quite some quickly, as Shaza is losing so much time on Coke every single lap. Tilted has got a 3 second time penalty, but he doesn't care. Gemini has built that over 30 seconds of gap to Luke's AI, so Gemini could be getting a point in this race. I'm trying to talk anything else but Ferrari until the last lap. The full lap is going to be probably for Ferrari, or most of it. George has a little bit of a wobble on the exit of turn 10, but he saved it beautifully. Stack needs to get a little bit closer on Dietrich though, as Dietrich has let me check, 3 seconds. Stack doesn't have the DRS on George anymore. But anyways, back into the Ferrari guys. Lamas has started, the Ferraris have started the final lap of the race. Everything has gone well for them this time. Nothing wrong for them. I mean, obviously, if they would spin on the last lap, then that would be good. But for the first time in this season, actually for the both cars, everything has gone well. The pole position, they've led most of the race equally, or maybe not equal, but like between each other they have led some part of the race. Lamas the end part, and Noise the middle part, and the very first lap on the start, and then just their rivals. Reggie has DNF'd on lap 5 on the exit of turn 5, or lap 4, or on the very beginning of the race. Shaza won't be getting the best result that he could hope for. He could have gotten a P3, but he's going to be ending at P4 if Matt doesn't overtake Shaza and gains 3 seconds. But now they're going through this third sector. It doesn't get much better than this for Ferrari, and through the 2 final corners they'll go. Lamas is going to cross the line first, but it is going to be Noise who is going to win the Singaporean Grand Prix here in Marina Bay, and Lamas completes the 1 and 2 for Ferrari. A wonderful race for them, and quali as well. Just everything went well for them. Just everything, every single part. And even their rivals had their worst parts. They can celebrate this win with fashion. And Coke finishes in P3 as well. Very good for him in the McLaren. Shaza finishes 4th. A little bit of a disappointing race, I would say, with a little bit of a wrong strategy Matt finishes 5th, even though with his 9 seconds of penalties. Then it was George P6, Stack P7. George gets a drive today to the game. Then it was George P6, Stack P7, then the Dietrich P8, Tilted P9, and Gemini P10. Luke P11, but he was in AI for the rest of the race, and he's out of points, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I got the order right this time in memory. Noise winning the race from pole position. So now officially, we can officially say the curse is gone. We can now officially say that the curse is gone. I don't actually think... No, from Portugal Noise got the pole position. There it is. Alright. And that one as well. So now officially we can say from not like post-race penalty, but while in the race penalty, Noise breaks officially the curse on stream. Lamas P2 from starting P3. Very good race for Ferrari, like I said. Everything goes well. Everything just goes right. Just everything went into the right direction for them. Coke finished in P3, so very good for McLaren as well from one side, and as well a former Ferrari driver. So we could say a Ferrari 1, 2, and 3, since well, Noise is a full-time Ferrari driver from the start of the season. Lamas jumped in for Coke mid-season, so we could say Ferrari 1, 2, and 3 if we really want to. Shaza P4, just not the best race for him as well. At the end, he had that front wing damage, which was very difficult to drive. I can tell that it was very difficult to drive on with that. Matt finishes in P5, even though with 9 seconds on penalties. George finishes in P6 from starting P13. Stack finishes 7th from starting P19. Dietrich started 16. He finishes 8th. Tilted finishes 9th from 17th. And Gemini gets a point even though he was lapped. And the rest, Jose, JP, Pete, Tur, Reggie, Hi, Alfie, Jack, and Pet. DNF for them. A very interesting race, I must say. I mean, not the most interesting race, but very interesting in terms of the driver standings and constructors, how it all turned around. So Noise gains 25 points on Reggie, so that is 53 points now between Noise and Reggie. Very good for Noise, but very bad for Reggie, as he sees his championship record winning the race while he crashed out. The driver of the day could be Noise, could be Lamas, could be Coke, could be George, Stack, Dietrich, Tilted. All of these had the very good races. I mean, Matt as well had a decent race. Shaza, from all that started, I would say that he had one of the worst races from these finishers. Gemini had the worst, even though he got a point, but still one of the worst. The worst. Shaza would be the second worst, I would say, because everyone else had here very good races. Tilted from P17 getting 2 points. Dietrich starting 16th getting 4 points. Stack starting 19th finishing 7th getting 6 points. George finishing starting P13 getting 8 points. Matt started P10 and he gets 10 points. Coke finished 9th and he finishes on the podium in the McLaren. Lamas gets a good podium as well, a P2 while he led most of the race. And Noise from pole position, and a race with no penalties for him as well with Coke, but for Coke that later on it didn't really that much matter on the last lap. It didn't really matter that much matter on the last lap. So yeah, the try after day, I would say, I don't know. It's a very hard choice. It's a very hard choice. So many drivers had very good races. So many drivers had very good races in this race. But I'd have to say, maybe it will be either. I don't know. It's a very hard choice to make. I mean, it would be maybe between. It would probably be between. I don't have to. I don't want to. Either between. Why is this game lagging so much? Either between noise or stack. Because well, stack didn't do that much in terms of incidents. Noise didn't as well. Like he won the race with no incidents whatsoever. I mean, there was that one time with Shazza in turn 1 that went both off track. But I mean, it didn't cost it. Neither of them spun. I mean, that did gain for noise, but I didn't really would say that would be really enough to get a severe penalty. Maybe 5, if that would be even the case. With sometimes a dodgy FIA. So I don't know. I would maybe say noise or stack. It have to between noise and stack. I can't decide. I can't decide. So many drivers had very good races. Everyone, basically most of the drivers who finish the races would deserve a drive today, in my opinion. And yeah, there are just too many drivers to give out drivers today. Honestly, that there's way too many drivers. But anyway, next week, US Circuit of the Americas, Austin, COTA, however you wanna say it. So yeah. Yeah, well, next week, US, COTA, Austin. Very difficult. The first sector very, very twisty, and you need so much aero in there. With turn 1 not really that much, but after turn 1 and then into the S's, left, right, left. Then a longer right, then left, and a longer right, going uphill into to left, uphill still, and very difficult with the traction. Then the second sector, mostly it's a straight. I mean, it's downhill into the hairpin, going into the main straight, or into the longer straight, then braking and into the more twisty bit where then the third sector starts, where there you need as well aero, so less aero obviously needed between Singapore and Austin, but it's still a very challenging track. So well, anyways, this was BPRL Singapore. See you guys next week in